Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat with Gina K. I am Gina, and I'm so excited to have you all here this evening. I've been checking out the comments, and I see people are coming in from all over the country and all over the world, and it's always so exciting to spend a Whimsical Wednesday with you guys. So tonight, I do have a topic. I didn't put it in my description out there on YouTube or Facebook because I was really debating whether or not to even use this topic, but I think I'm going to use it. So tonight's topic is conflict versus bullying. So almost everyone has experienced some sort of bullying, right? Whether it's in school, in a sport, even at a job. I've seen it a lot lately on the internet and even happening to people in the craft industry. You see, bullies like to pretend that there's a conflict. Some sort of conflict. But there's a big difference between conflict and bullying. You see, in conflict, there are two sides in which both sides expresses their views, and they often discuss things in private. In bullying, there's one side, and that side aims to hurt, harm, or humiliate someone, often in front of others. In conflict, things can be resolved because both sides communicate and both sides learn. And the goal is to resolve the issue. In bullying, the goal is to hurt and shame someone, and usually to make the bully feel important, make the bully feel more powerful or in control. The bully really doesn't care about the issue. They only care about the personal gain. If the victim has good friends, sometimes they'll stand up for their friend or they'll speak to their friend's character. On the other hand, a bully doesn't have any friends. They aren't very popular. They just have people around them who are actually afraid of them, so they go along with it so they don't become the target. So remember, if you want to know about a person, watch their interactions with others. People may not tell you who they are, but they'll always show you who they are. Well, I do have a closing comment quote for you guys tonight. I was going to use this quote anyway, but it really, really fits our topic tonight. But our card topic tonight is stenciling. We're going to stencil on a slimline card, and I'm going to show you a way to turn a 6x6 stencil into a stencil that's going to fit a long slimline card. And then I'm going to create a card with the Colossal Coneflower stamp set. This is one that I've used in other videos, and I really do like using stamp sets that I've used before in other videos, so you guys get more ideas. I know a lot of you have picked up this one, and it is one of my favorites, especially for fall, because you can turn this into a coneflower. You can turn it into one of those echinacea flowers. You can turn it into a black-eyed Susan. Depending on how you color it, you can turn it into a lot of things. I'm going to turn mine into something I've never even seen before because I want to use pinks on mine, but we'll see how it goes. So let's head over to the overhead camera, and I'm going to start with the Ornamental Fan stencil. So this stencil is a stencil that comes in the new Stamp TV kit. The one that is available now is out of stock, but coming back in just a few days. So stay tuned for that. Let's see here. I shouldn't say a few days. I should say very soon, because I just don't know what's going on in the world of stamp manufacturing right now. Seems like everybody's behind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and this stencil. And first of all, I just want to do a quick disclaimer. We are having terrible, terrible rainstorms. So if for any reason the camera goes out, don't panic, don't leave. Tom is going to try his little tricks that he has to try to get everything back on. And if for any reason you guys are having a problem seeing the overhead, or you think it should be brighter, just let us know. Our lights seem to change. I think electronics are crazy right now. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to use some purple tape. Now, this technique is better done with a stencil that has a pattern on it. Okay, so you want to have a pattern design. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of purple tape and I'm just going to cut a hill. Okay. And I'm going to, maybe I need to cut more of a hill. So let's see. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to cover this. See where these are cut off at the bottom? I want to cover those. So I only want to stencil full fans. All right, so let's take this one and we'll put it over here like this so it drapes up around there. And this one can go right here. And then I just need a little piece to go right there. So I'm just using little scraps of purple tape and just taping off those areas down at the bottom. That was not good. I'm going to get another piece of purple tape. All right. So we don't have Rena here tonight, so I am the whole show. So I'm trying to live up to the reputation of our last show, which was really a lot of fun having her here. And she's going to try to come back on another Monday. I know you guys enjoyed having her. And that whole reverse stencil technique was her baby. So she has some pretty good ideas. I'm just going to tack this down here too so that it doesn't move around on me too much. Okay, for the color, I'm going to be using some of the Gina K Designs Soft Stone. Now, you can do the entire card in soft stone. I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm just going to leave like a little bit of a white edge. It's going to fade out a little bit. So I'm going to start down here. And then I'm going to work my way up. You can see I'm not going all the way to the edge. It's very hard to see this color. But when you take the stencil off, then it's pretty obvious. Okay, so we can peek at it because it's kind of taped down here. We can peek at it. Oh yeah, that looks pretty. Very, very gentle. I like that. That's the look I'm going for. And I'm going a little bit heavier down here. Okay, so now I'm going to take the stencil off. And you see how I have a design here that's finished. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the stencil. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to line up the stencil onto the design where it left off. And then I'm going to tape that down with a little bit of purple tape. And I reuse a lot of this purple tape throughout the week. I just stick it all over my, my mat that I'm working on, and then I grab them and use them over again. So now I'm going to ink up the brush again, and I'm going heavier in this section. I'm going to fade out again to light.
What is paper dimensions?
The paper dimension, this one measures 3.5 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to check that though. No, that's wrong. I couldn't be more wrong. 3.5 inches by 9 inches. So hold on jotting that down, Tom. We're going to check that and make sure that that's correct. Okay, and so now I'm going to pull that off. Okay, so you can see I'm like heavy in the center, which is what I want it to be. And you can go back over any areas that you want. If you want it to be a little bit darker up here, just place the stencil where you want it and add a little bit more ink. See? If you want it a little darker down here, you do the same thing. You find that spot on the stencil. And then you just add a little more ink. So there we go. So now, of course, you can always go, you know, through the whole, all the way to the edge. But when I'm using this as a backdrop for a floral design, I kind of like it to fade out to nothingness. I just think it has a classy look about it. So that is how you extend your stencil. And that's why I say using a stencil that has a pattern design usually works really well, because you can go down to the last pattern and you can move it. Most of our stencils, this will work with. The only stencil this won't really work with maybe are stencils like our floral stencil, where it's actual a set of flowers. And if I was using something like that, I would do the flower down at the bottom and I'd flip it and do it the opposite way at the top. So we could get into more of that in another live. But this is using mostly pattern stencils, hearts and swirls and flourishes and things like that. So that's kind of fun. All right, so now we're going to play with the Colossal Coneflower. So I'm going to get my Misty out here. And then, oh, I heard that the new Misties have shipped. We're getting the new Misty in our store, and I really am excited about it. I can't wait to see it. It's got a lot of the things built in that, you know, we've been trying to alter our Misties to do. And there are videos out there now where people are using the new Misty. So check them out and see what you think. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a new Misty, because my Misty works great. Oh, and you might notice that I put the tape on here. I bought these from the My Sweet Petunia website. These are actually turquoise ruler stickers. And did you see what I did? Everybody always laughs at me that I use my Misty backwards. I flipped the ruler upside down, so now I'm not backwards anymore. So if you like to use your Misty like me, I like to use it like a book opening. Definitely see if you can get your hands on some of those stickers. I don't know if they still make them now with the new Misty. We'll have to see. But I wanted mine to match my craft room. Okay, I'm going to stamp all 4 of these at one time. And I think, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think I'm going to do a little embossing with this. So I have my Wagner heat tool here. I just want to plug it in. Watch me take down the entire camera system with my heat tool. I don't want to think about it. Okay, so I'm going to use my embossing magic pad, and I'm going to rub that all over the surface of this. This way, embossing powder will only stick where I want it. And then, I don't even know if I need that magnet. I'm just going to grab a Versamark pad because it's right here. Sorry about my ring light. That is really ringy. But I have a tiny little, I have Mishi hairs still on my workstation. I thought we cleaned all of that up. I exchanged out a big ring light for a little ring light so we could redo our camera situation here. And this little ring light is very glary. So, okay, I think that should be good. We'll see. All right, so now I'm going to stamp that. And then I'm going to get my little towel here, and I'm just going to rub over the surface with my towel, just because it's easier to slide on the Misty when you have some fabric, especially when you're doing like this many stamps all at once. It's a lot of stamps. Okay. Now, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to use my embossing powder, and I have my white fine detail powder here in this Glad container. I think I should get smaller containers though. I don't think it needs to be quite this big. All right, looks like I got good coverage here. Oh, I see powder flying everywhere. This is a big piece of cardstock. I think I might need more leaves too. We'll have to see. I might want to stamp a second pair of leaves. And I'm just blowing away the excess. And now I'm going to use my Wagner heat tool. I'm definitely going to need more leaves. Well, we'll see. I'm just heating this up a little bit. And let me get the embossing powder off my mat so I don't hook that onto my mat. Okay. So now I'm going to emboss these. Oh, I gotta hold everything. I got a smudge here of something I don't want there. Is that actually there? Oh, that is there. Never mind. That is part of the drawing. I love these flowers. My daughter Alicia drew these for me. And I absolutely love the style. Very fun and bright. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask, and Tom is monitoring all of your comments. This is the lightweight, the layering weight cardstock. So let's see here. That looks pretty good. Okay. So now what I think I'm going to do, just because I feel like I'm going to need them and I don't want to do them later, is I'm going to stamp these leaves one more time and emboss them just so that I have them if I need them. So I'll stamp one of them down here, this bigger one. Right down here. And then I will stamp the other one up near the top. Up here. Okay, and we'll get that embossing powder again. Anybody else having torrential rain? It's so funny. It's like last week it was all like we were in the desert. It was so hot. High 90s, a couple of days. I mean, it was really hot. And then now it's cooling off a little bit and it's been raining like crazy. I don't like the rain for my internet. Sorry about that. What's that, Tom? You can get a tidy towel at GinaKDesigns.com. We sell those on our website. Also, a lot of our retail partners carry the tidy towel. It's a very, very popular item. It's a great, great item to have in your collection.
Tricia wants to know, does Alicia work for Gina K full-time or is she in school too?
Alicia's main job is with Gina K Designs as an artist. She also does some web work for me. Like when I do things like when I get invited to Simon Says Stamp to do a video, a lot of their files that they require are for Mac computers. I don't know anything about a Mac, so she helps me do editing for those things. She does graphic work for us. And then she is actually working on a big art project right now. So
Lori said the tidy towels are sold out right now.
oh, that's not right. We'll get those back in stock tonight. I know for a fact that they're not even anywhere near sold out. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because when we buy the tidy towels, we buy them 16,000 at a time. And we are only on our second run of tidy towels. So I know we have a lot. So we'll get that fixed. Okay. So I'm going to start with, should I start with? Yeah, I'm going to start with Dusty Rose, but I'm going to do this one really light. I don't want to be like real heavy-handed with the Dusty Rose. So I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to work my way out. And you can see how pretty that is. It's just really pretty and soft. Okay. I'm going to use colored pencils on this too. I'm just going to go back and add a little bit of the darker Dusty Rose closer in. And then I want to go just to the outside of those petals because when I die cut these flowers, I don't want there to be a white edge. I want there to be a Dusty Rose edge, even if it's lighter than the rest of the flower. Okay. Now I'm going to, isn't that pretty? That's just so big and bold. It's such a giant flower. I mean, this is a pretty big acrylic block. Look how big that flower is. It's so much fun. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Yeah, we will get that tidy towel put back in stock. Tom, can you write that down so I don't forget it to put the tidy towel back in stock? Because that's pretty easy for me to do. The only way that could be fixed ahead of time is if Sammy is watching or Emily is watching or Debbie is watching, because they know how to put more inventory back in. And I know we've got a lot of it. Okay.
Sam wants to know, what colored pencils do you use and recommend?
I use Prismacolor pencils. I recommend them because I've had some of the more expensive pencils. I have a couple of Caran d'Ache pencils, which are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I understand why people love them, but I honestly don't think I'm good enough of a crafter to have them. Like they all look the same to me, so why spend the extra money? So Prismacolor pencils work really well. I've had polychromos too. They are an oil-based pencil, not a wax-based pencil, and they work really nicely too. But again, I get the same results, so I just stick with Prismacolor pencils. So this is warm cocoa. I just have a little ink cube here, and I'm going to just do the center of this flower in warm cocoa.
Can the dauber be used in the same way as brushes for blending?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. In fact, if you go back and watch old videos by one of our designers, Teresa Momber, oh, look at how pretty that is. Like if you go outside, it darkens the inside of those petals, and it's just a nice blend. She uses all sponge daubers for her blending. And she uses the big daubers that we sell at Gina K Designs, and she gets beautiful results. So if you're looking for some inspiration, she's a good one to watch. Okay, so I'm just wiping away the excess ink. See how it got whiter there? And I'm going to do the same thing here. And now you see how that pops, that white again? Okay. All right, so I'm trying to see a clock. Oh, plenty of time. Good. Because this is a little bit of a longer technique. All right, now this has electropop on it, so I need to find a different little brush, something that's not quite so electropop. I'm going to use a little apple mint for this. And I'm just going to go over the leaves.
Sammy said tidy towels are back in.
Yay, Sammy! Sammy is our hero. Okay, tidy towels are back in stock. Yeah, it's funny. Like we put a lot of that kind of stuff in stock, but sometimes we don't put it all in stock because we have so many cases of them. And, we always look for imperfections or making sure that everything is okay. Same with ink pads and stuff. Sometimes you get an ink pad that's in a box. You think you've got 50 in that box, and then you open it up and 3 of them cracked in transit. So, we put sometimes lower numbers of inventory than we actually have. Not often, but with the tidy towels, definitely. Thank you, Sammy. My hero. Okay, so I love this green. It's just so bright and fun. And we'll do a little bit of ink blending a little bit of pencil blending over that as well. Okay, so that's soft and nice, and they're going to die cut really nicely because the color goes outside of the lines. Got to get the excess off. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of pencil blending. So now the trick is to find the right color pencil that's going to blend well with the flower. That might be a nice one there. This is magenta, and I'm just digging through some pencils here. Here is rouge. That's kind of red. I don't like rouge as much.
People waiting for the ocean minded.
Oh, I know it's on its way. Oh, that's too orange. Okay, let's go with magenta. Ocean minded is on its way. Boy, nobody's waiting for that more than Rena. She's dying to do more videos with it, and she doesn't like to do videos with stuff that's out of stock because it's frustrating, and I get that. Okay, so I've really sharpened that pencil, that magenta pencil. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit here. Here we go. Hopefully that's nice and still clear. Okay, so I'm going to color just a little bit close to the inside of each petal. Oh, this is relaxing. So Tom and I are going to try to go camping again. I told you guys about the last time we went camping that we had a very uneven spot. And we, well, I don't know, kind of felt like a fun house. Right, Tom?
Yeah.
And so we came home early. We didn't stay the whole time. But that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of what happens when you stay at a new campsite and you don't know much about it. You don't know where all the good spots are, and sometimes you get a dud. But you should have seen us walking through our little RV. I really did feel like I was in a fun house. All right. So I'm just coloring all inside these petals. I really like where the brown got in there. Almost tempted to add a little more brown. I might. All right, and then I'm going to use Gamsol. Now, I know some of you watch me on, getting off the screen, some of you watch me on Stampin' Chat, and you've been watching for months. I've been doing this, I can't believe it. I looked at it like, I post the episode number on YouTube of the Mondays and the Wednesdays, and I think we just like did episode 16, which means we've been doing this for like 4 months. It's fun though. It's fun to be with you guys. So if you have watched me before, you probably know this trick, but what I like to do is I like to sand the tip of the blending stump with either some sandpaper like this. This is Stadler, I'm not sure how to say it. But what you do is you sand the end of the blending stump, but as you're sanding, you're turning the stump and you're angling it so that it's keeping a point at the top, because you want this to have kind of a sharp point too. Now, if you get blending stumps for the first time, oh my word, what is that? I don't know what that is. Let me get my trusty little mono eraser and see if I can get that off, whatever that is.
How's Teddy?
Teddy, she's doing okay today. She's doing better today. She had another hamburger. So she's living the good life. But she's doing pretty well today. She had a rough go of it earlier over the weekend, but this week seems to be better for her. But thank you for asking. Okay, so I have some Gamsol in here, and if you've never seen Gamsol, it comes in a bottle like this. And this is the Gamblin Gamsol. It's 100% odorless mineral spirits, but this is an artist grade. It's not the same as what you buy in the drugstore or the hardware store. This is made for artists, so you can't smell it. It doesn't have fumes. It doesn't give you a headache. I've tried the kind from the big box, Home Goods, Home Depot kind of store, and after a while I get a terrible headache. This I do not. And you want to dip your blending stump in there till some of the odorless mineral spirits, the Gamsol, soaks into your blending stump. That's going to give you the best results. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use that to move the color down the flower. So the color is going to stay dark at the root there, the top of the flower, but it's going to get lighter as it goes down because you're actually blending that color out. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And it's not a problem to do this with embossing powder. I do it a lot with embossing powder. But I'm going to answer some of the questions that I usually get and sometimes we miss. People ask me if you can do this with watercolor pencils. My answer to that is, yeah, I guess you can, but you don't have to, because water acts like the Gamsol for a watercolored pencil. So really, if you're using Gamsol, it's just because you're getting the watercolor wet, and that's why it's moving. But that's kind of a waste of Gamsol when you can just use water to achieve the same effect. Another question is, what brand of blending stumps do I like the best? The blending stumps that I like the best are called Creative Mark blending stumps. They're my absolute favorite. They are not made in China. They're made in Taiwan, I believe. I don't know if that's the same thing, but that's what it says. It doesn't say made in China. That may be, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know. But I do know that the ones that say made in China are a little bit more dense than these that are made in Taiwan. So if you're from China or Taiwan and that is saying geography wrong, just let me know, because I'm often wrong. Okay, so you can see I'm continuing to move that color down. You can let me know now, Tom, if I'm wrong.
Do you reuse the Gamsol that you don't finish up?
I do. Sometimes I'm brave and I try to get it back in the bottle. Other times I'll just put something over the bottle so that it doesn't evaporate. I mean, over the jar. I use a wide mouth jar like this, or even a little votive holder, candle holder works really well. I like to use that because I can be klutzy and it's a lot harder to tip this over than something taller and thinner. I don't recommend working right from the bottle.
So Wendy doesn't think she can use Gamsol because she's on oxygen.
Okay.
Is there another way to do this kind of blending?
Yes, there is. So there's another product called Zest It, and it is made from oranges. It's available in the UK, and it might be available in some art stores. And then there is baby oil. A lot of people use baby oil to do this. So, you know, that's something you might already have in your house, and you can just try that before you go out and try to find Zest It. So there we go. A nice, pretty way that all blended out. Okay, so let's do the next flower while we're still talking. So I'm gonna do the same thing again. And if my pencil starts to get dull, I am gonna sharpen it again because it's really hard to get in between these little lines of the flower, the detail that Alicia drew into this flower. Trying to get into those lines. So I might have to sharpen it again. My friend Kathy Rakusin from the Daily Marker blog, she recommends working all the time with really, really sharp pencils. When the pencil gets too dull, you really kind of have to press hard on it too to get the color to come off. And then sometimes that, like, I don't know, it burnishes the color and it makes it too thick and it just doesn't do what you want it to do. So a sharper pencil is really, really the ticket. Okay. I'm going to try not to, sometimes I'm not paying attention and I go in between the petals, and that's just not right. Okay, so now let's do this. I guess this could be like almost a purple coneflower. I've seen them a little bit more on the pink side. I did the last Slimline card I did. I had somebody email me and say, because you guys, if you were here with me, I did one that I did odorless mineral spirits and colored pencils, the Gamsol and the colored pencils on, and I did it all in blues. And I like blue. I like blue flowers. I think they're pretty. They're fun to color. But the customer, the person, the viewer said, well, why don't you use real colors that are like real flower colors? And, you know, I get it because there aren't a whole lot of blue flowers. There's purpley blue, but not a whole lot of real. Mine was like turquoise, so I don't know any turquoise flowers really. Oh, I like the way that petal came out. It almost looks a little bit like, if you're not good at no line coloring, which I am terrible at, I go to sit down to do no line coloring, and my first question is, where are the lines? I need the lines. But this kind of gives you that same feel as the no line coloring, because you don't really notice the white lines as much as you notice black stamped lines.
Is there more than one kind of Prisma pencil?
There is. There's more than one kind. Well, Prismacolor does make a watercolor pencil. They make a pencil, I think it's called Verithin or Verifine? Verithin, I think. And those pencils, now again, I'm not an artist, so if you're an artist out there, you can correct me. But what I've heard about those is that they're harder. So, you know, when you sharpen them, the point stays super, super fine, and it's a harder pencil. I don't know if that means it has less wax or more wax or what it has, but they're not the same. The ones that I recommend are the Prismacolor Premier pencils. And then Prismacolor also has a type of pencil called Scholar. And I believe they're more of a beginner pencil, like something that you might have if you were in school, maybe even like a beginner, kind of like school age pencil for art. But the Premier ones, Prismacolor Premier pencils, they are the ones that I use and that I really like. Okay, so what do you guys think of those flowers? They look pretty good? Yes, very thin or very hard, correct. That is what I heard, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so I'm going to do these leaves now. I do like that brown in there, though. Oh, my goodness, I like that. I wonder if I have a brown that I could add. We have time, right? We have time. I can't see the clock on that computer at all.
It's 7:36.
Okay. Well, I'm going to skip over to the to a green then. That's kind of a lime green. Maybe I'll add some of that in there. Although I feel like maybe this might be a better color. Yeah, that's going to be a better color. So I'm going to do that instead. This color is, for those that are keeping track, oh my goodness, I can't even see this. Sap, S-A-P, like tree sap, sap green light.
What pencil sharpener is it?
The pencil sharpener that I'm using is, oh, that's a good color, is the iOrbit pencil sharpener. They have these also at Costco. That's where I think Karen Hightower got me my very first one, and I love that thing. It's electric, and that one I use whenever whenever I'm sitting for a long time and coloring. I'll use that because it doesn't run out of batteries. But this little black one that I have is actually a battery one. And it's great for, I take it camping with me. So right now it's in with all my pencils. And that's why it's here with me now. I hear an airplane going overhead. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So I'm just adding that little bit of darkness in there. But this is such a great color to mix with apple mint. The tree sap, or not tree sap, sap green light. I don't know what it is about them putting the light at the end. Maybe it's because it's a European translation, and I think that's the way they do their descriptive words after the noun. We say light green, they say green light. Maybe. I don't know. Making assumptions here. It's never a good idea. I'm just coloring in like the little corners. And I'm not really worrying about like where the light is coming from. I know that we have these amazing card makers out there and colorists that know exactly how to get the light to look like it's coming from the left or the right. I'm just going for lights and darks. You know what I mean here? I'm not like too worried about whether or not the light is coming from the left or the right. I just want shading in there. Okay, one more. This little guy up here. And after I put it all together, it will be totally fine. And if we go a little over, that's okay, right? It's not like network television where they're giving you the cut. You just keep going. Okay, so I've got a blending stump here that has a little bit of green on it. I just want to make sure that it's to a nice point. And I'm going to dip into the Gamsol here. I want to make sure that I get it wet enough. And then I'm going to blend out that green. And that just gives it softens it up.
You got a request for the thumping technique.
Really? I love the thumping technique. I can do the thumping technique. I will do that in a video very soon. Especially, I want to do it when the kit comes back in stock, because a lot of people would love to do it with those images, those solid images. So that kit's going to be in stock really soon, and I will do a video with the thumping technique. See how easy that's just blending out? Barely any work at all on that one. Thumping. Do you know, here's a little Gina K Designs trivia for you. My very first video was the thumping technique. And then my very second video was the kissing technique. I know, crazy, right? It was a long time ago, back in like 2008, maybe 2007. It was a long time ago. But they were my first two techniques I did videos on. And they're still fun and relevant today. That's because the good stuff stays relevant. Okay, I'm going to go back over the centers of these flowers again one more time with a little bit of extra brown. And then I'm going to get my tidy towel and just wipe away that excess. Just wanted to darken it up a little bit in there. Okay. And now we're going to cut these out. So let me just move. I have 5,000 things here, especially Gamsol. That is not something I want to.
So a lot of people don't know what the thumping technique is.
Oh,
You're going to explain that in some future video?
Yeah, I could do it in, maybe I'll do it in the next video. Maybe I'll do it on Monday night. You guys want to see the thumping technique on Monday night? It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's go to the front camera. And here we go, there I am. So I'm going to do some die cutting here. And die cutting, to me, I can't get everything in the camera really well. So I'm going to just have my face here instead. So normally I like to make a little guide for this, but I might not do that today.
You got a request for a line using the mini wreath builder.
Oh yeah, I could do that too. I think that might be a good one to do, like in combination with the regular wreath builder. Like maybe we'll do some holiday cards and we'll use the mini wreath builder to do some tags, and then the regular wreath builder to do a card. Okay, so I did get new plates for my, I don't want to hit the microphone here. For my Spellbinders machine, I finally got new plates. Mine were so warped. You can see how big that flower is. Isn't that big? I could put that in my hair. Be cute. Okay. But yes, the mini wreath builder is awesome, and it's great. You know what it fits? The Tim Holtz tags. If you buy a pack of the Tim Holtz tags, it's the perfect size for that. And that's what I designed it originally for. And that was before I had my own tag dies. So it really fits nicely on that. But I can show you some techniques too, where you can make a smaller tag fit in a bigger wreath builder. So in other words, I can use my small tag with the mini wreath builder and show you how to do that. So there's our second flower. And then I'll show you all these in a minute. Yes?
Can your ink cubes be stored on their side?
Yes. But the one thing that I would recommend, if you're storing them on their side, like in a drawer, and it's a nice drawer and you don't want any ink to seep out, you know, if you just re-inked an ink cube, that could happen. So what I would suggest is to put a little contact paper down on the drawer or in the space first, and then this way, if anything leaked, it wouldn't ruin the space underneath. But it shouldn't be a problem as far as, you know, our ink pads don't have to be stored upside down or right side up, or you can store them however you want.
Yeah, that blue towel is not the tidy towel.
No, the blue towel is just a microfiber cloth that I took out of Tom's tools outside. Sorry, Tom.
Great.
Were you looking for that?
I got a few of your things in my tools.
I know. So the other night we were trying to fix my bike, and Tom had this tiny, tiny little screw that he couldn't get to work. He didn't have a small enough thing to get it into the hole, and so I found my tweezers for my brads and eyelets and sequins, and we used a crafting tweezer, and we were able to fix it. So
There's only 2 sizes of wreath builder, right?
there are 3 sizes of wreath builders. So we have the regular wreath builder, which is called the wreath builder templates. They're the originals. They're the ones that are great for A2 size cards. Then we also have the mini wreath builder, which is the one we were just talking about, that it's great for tags and tiny wreaths that you want to maybe make for a focal image of a card, but you don't want the whole card to be a wreath. Then we have the mega wreath builder, and that's the one that can be used for big home decor projects. You can make artwork, wreaths that you can hang on the wall. You can use it for scrapbooking. So that's the mega wreath builder. And that one has a lot of different size templates that nest together, so you can do wreaths of all different sizes. Okay, so we can go back to the overhead again. And so here are my cutout pieces. You can see how nice they look cut out now. All right. So now it's time to put this card together. Now I should have stems, right? So I am going to have stems, but the stems I'm going to stamp right onto the card. So I'm going to lay this out first the way I want it to look. And before I do that, I have to get the stem because I have to see how far up the stem comes. Let me get that more in the scene. Let me back up a little bit because I am really zoomed in here from our coloring. So I want you to be able to see this a little bit better. Okay, so here's the stem. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to do like one maybe down here that would be like this big one. And then one up higher. I think that might be too high. Let's see. I kind of think they would be pretty down here too, like this. Oh, I know what I can do. So I can fake it. I can do this stem like to here, maybe to there, and then I can run it through this flower so I can finish it on the other side with another stamp. I think I'll do that. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Let me get this on a block here. So this is the stem image. I'm going to just pick it up with this block. Okay. All right. And the thing about this stem that's really cool is you can bend it. I mean, you can curve it if you want your flower to tilt. You can do a lot of different things. You can make it more straight. So for this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up here because I want this to be nice and high on the card. So I'm going to stamp it about there. And I'm just going to ink up like a little bit of the stem, like right to there. So let me use my embossing magic pad because I'm going to emboss it too. And then I'm going to get some Versamark. I'm holding my finger here so I don't lose the place. Let's see if I can make this look like I want it to look. So if I want my flower here, I'm going to stamp it right about there. Okay. Now let's get some embossing powder on that so I can see it a little bit better. This will be an interesting trick if it works. Looks pretty good. Oh, I unplugged my embossing gun. My heat tool. Okay. Now we'll start by heating this up. Okay. Now I see it. So now I'm going to take that same pencil. Did I put it away? I think I did. There it is, sap green. And I'm going to color that in. Just so I know where that stem is. Okay. So this flower is going to be on top of here. And then this flower can be here. Yeah. You see what's happening? So I can extend this stem. Could extend it down here.
Okay, Lori is asking, could you ask Gina while she's assembling how she keeps her pins stuck to the board behind her?
Oh,
I asked
yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah, so they're just pushed right in. I'll show you when I get done this card. They're just pushed right in. I have all the backs in a different spot. So I'm going to just put this here like this. All right. So I have all the backs in a little jar in one of my drawers, and I just have the pins pushed right into that board. That board is like a foam board, so it's not just like a picture frame. It's actually got foam under it. And you can make something like that pretty easily with some foam and a little bit of fabric and pull it stretched over the foam, and then just put it in a frame. Okay, so now I'm going to color this in down here. So I really want that stem to be just kind of quiet, you know? I want it to be there, but it doesn't have to be really stark. I just want it to be there. So now this flower will go up here. This flower will come down here and hide that raw edge. Does that make sense? And now for this one, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to curve it a little bit. See which way I have to curve it though. I think I have to curve it this way. To curve it like that. This way it can come up. And I'd like it to cross. I think that would be pretty. So we'll do it right about here and we'll cross it. Wish me luck. So I'm thinking we cross it like right about here. See how that looks. Yeah. Okay. You know I just wing these cards, right? You know I don't have a plan. You guys are in the plan with me right now. Okay. I like it though. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's get that off of there. Get that off of there. Did I drop my block on the card or something? I think I did. All right. I'm glad I saw that because I really don't want just a shiny smudge. I guess I could use my mono sand eraser to get it off, but why do that when you still have a shot, right? Okay.
You are brave, Gina, heating with your open container of embossing.
I know, totally. That is so true. I like that you said brave and not stupid because I would have said stupid. You look down and your whole container of embossing powder is hard in the container. Yeah. That is brave. All right. So there's my stems, my odd little stem pattern there. Now, before I assemble this card, I'm going to get a piece of black onyx, and I'm going to adhere that onto that, oh, these cards are so long. There's no way to get the whole thing into the thing unless I back out into outer space for you to see it. Okay, I'm doing a lot because I really warped it, but so if you can't see some of this getting adhered down, you know what's happening, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we're gonna go with that Dusty Rose card base. I think that looks pretty good. That color look good to you? Or did I make it too pink with the pencil? You guys think that looks okay? Or should I use a pinker card base? Let me grab one more color. And you guys can tell me what you think. All right. So here is bubble gum. Does bubble gum look better? Yeah, I think it does, right? Okay, so I got to cut this. So I'm going to cut this. This is 8.5 by 11. I'm going to cut it to 9 inches. So let me do that over here off to the side. And then I'm going to cut it to 7 inches because it's 3.5. Is it 3.5? I'm not sure. I have to measure. Gosh. Measure twice, right? Cut once. Let me measure this one. Oh, that's 4 inches. So I need to cut 1/2 inch off. So it's 9 by 8. I think I'd remember this from my last live, but no. Okay. So here's my piece. And then I need my score buddy. So if you don't have the big score pal and you're trying to make these big cards, the easiest way to take care of that is you want to score this at 4 inches. Just score and then flip and then score. And there you go. But I definitely think the bubble gum. I guess I just went so light on the Dusty Rose because I wanted to color all the details in there that I didn't get the full Dusty Rose effect, but I think this is going to look nice. Okay, so I missed a little tape right here. I feel like I need to tape that. Can I get tape under there? Or am I going to ruin the whole thing? Nah, I'm not going to ruin it. We're going to add a little bit of extra tape down this side here. There we go. Okay, I can't put this on upside down because I got stems. And this whole thing is going to go onto my card base. There we go. You should see me trying to take a picture of that last Slimline card. I seriously had to stand on a ladder to be high enough to do it. Okay. The card base is 8 by 9. And then on the 8-inch part, you score it at 4 inches. So it becomes a 4 by 9. All right, so that's going to go there. This is going to go here. And then we can put some leaves here. Oh, I don't even think I needed all those leaves. I'll use them though. You guys know I love my little box of things. So that is going to be, put that here. That's going to be, actually I'll slip it under here. This way you're not really sure what flower that's part of. So what do you think? Do you guys like that? I like it. Okay. So let's tape the leaves straight down onto the card. I know I didn't think about a greeting. Not sure what I'm going to do about the greeting. And then we'll tape this one under here, like that. Tape this one down here, like that. And then that's going to go over that. And we're going to pop those up with some magical foam squares. And I have all kinds of leftover foam squares from classes that I've done. So I'm going to just use those. All right, we'll start with this guy. put 3 on there. I love waiting to the very end after you've done all this work and then thinking, oh, where am I going to put the greeting? It's so scary to put a greeting on. I think I'm going to put a really tiny greeting on. Okay. This is going to go up here like that. I like it to go off too, like off of the border a little bit. As long as it doesn't go outside the card, it'll still fit. And then this one, put a couple on here. Need one more. Let me peel these backings off. So what are the backings called that you peel off of foam squares? I always call them backings, or I don't know what to call them. I know they must have a name. Anybody know? All right, we'll put that. All right. Actually, I'm going to move this. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared to move it, but I want to see if I can. Use a little pick here to grab it.
A lot of people say you don't need a greeting.
I don't need a greeting? Well, that's easy. If I don't need a greeting, then I'll be done.
Release paper.
Release paper. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. So if I were to put a greeting on, where would I put it? Like right in here, a tiny little like hello friend or something? Wouldn't that be pretty? I got to put something. Just feels like it needs something. Let me look at my mini sets. Show you what I store my mini stamp sets in. This is a refrigerator bin, and they're all, let me see if I can zoom out more. They're all in here in alphabetical order in these tiny little pockets. And I have a lot of little stamp sets like this one. You're a good friend. See how that would fit right in there?
Bottom left. A lot of people.
What's the bottom left? They want it down there? You're a good friend? Yeah? Bottom left. Thankful for you. You don't like it up here, huh? Okay. You're a good friend. I like that. You're a good friend, or thankful for you. And we'll do you're a good friend. All right. Now you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm not taking any chances with this. And out comes the Misty. I don't want to have to pull all of these out and use them for other things. Look at my mess all over. See, I try to hide all of this when I'm crafting. Oh my goodness, this doesn't even fit in here. All right, we're going to do that. Stay. I lost my magnet, so we're just going to wing it. And then you're a good friend. So this is from the stamp set Bitty Blossoms. And I want to make sure that, I don't know that I've used this greeting yet. I'm going to rub my fingers all over it. You're a good friend. All right, guys, I'm doing your thing down here at the bottom. You're a good friend.
Oh, now you got some people saying on top.
On top?
Like Gina thought.
Like here? All
You
right.
have to do your thing.
I'm going to have to, well, maybe I'll go at the top because that was kind of my original thought was at the top. But actually, I mean, really, I think it would look pretty in either spot. But I'm going to put it up here. You're a good friend. I'm going to put it up here, and I'll tell you why. Because when I take a picture of it for you guys, and I want to zoom in close to the flowers, you'll be able to see the greeting. So that'll be my reason why. Not that I really prefer one more than the other. I just think it'll be easier for photographing. All right, so now I'm going to use my ink cube for this because this is really tiny. And because this is so popped up, I don't want to get any ink on the Misty and take a chance. This is the most stressful thing I've ever stamped in my life right here.
A lot of people on a lot of different ways on that placement.
On that placement?
Good luck with this.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm sorry if I didn't choose your your spot. I really am. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. I hear the rain. Oh, yes. Whew. Okay, I can breathe.
That's from Bitty Blossom?
Yeah, that is from the stamp set Bitty Blossom, right there. Bitty Blossoms. So let's zoom in now a little bit more. So there is my finished card. I agree. It could have gone in either place and it would have looked just as pretty. So I hope nobody is really, really disappointed and like unsubscribing and blocking me. That would be, that'd be so sad for me. But yeah, you're right. It could have gone in either direction. And I think either way, it would have looked really pretty. So there is the finished card. That was a long card and it was fun. But I get it. I can see why people would think, because there's like a kind of a big space down here. You know what, though? Maybe I could trim one of these leaves and add it in there or something to kind of fill that out more. We'll see. Right now, I'm going to leave it as it is, because you know how sometimes you do that one last thing and you ruin it? Yeah, we've all been there. So there is the finished card, and we're a little over, so why don't we jump over to the front shot? So just so you guys know, we have a Facebook group, and if you're new to Gina K Designs, you can jump over to Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends on Facebook. Join the group because I always post a really good high quality photo of the project so you can see it a little better. You can see the coloring and all of that. And we'd love to have you. It's a private group. You do have to request to join, but our moderators are pretty quick to let people in as long as, you know, there's not really a qualification. We let you in, but then we make sure that somebody doesn't come in and spam right away. And we know you guys watching would not do that. So we hope you'll join us over there. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button and maybe like this video. That helps my videos get seen and suggested in the future. So thank you for that. Okay, so tonight's topic was conflict versus bullying, and we talked a little bit about that. And my final quote for the night is this: some people cut the heads off of others to make themselves appear taller. That's what a bully does. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining Tom and me tonight. We had so much fun with you. I hope you'll give this technique a try, the slimline technique, and also the stenciling, expanding your stencils using those pattern stencils. I will be back on Monday night. We'll be back on Monday night, next Monday night. I'm going to beg Rena to come, but if not, either way, we'll have a really fun project for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week, a very safe weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.